Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Good, Aubrey. How's it going?
Excellent. Question for you. Did you have a hard time writing essays when you were in college?
Honestly, in graduate school, I found essays harder because the literature and just the rigor of the work was harder. But in college, I feel like I just followed the structure that I was given,
Right.
and it really wasn't that hard.
Yes, the master's thesis, that was difficult.
Yeah.
You have to do research and quote all of these sources.
All the reading in graduate school is so much. I could never go back.
My daughter, she's in college, and she just had a professor reach out asking if she could use her essay as an example for future courses. I was like,
Ooh,
that is
that's
the
a nice
ultimate compliment. I
That's a
don't think
very
I
nice
ever got
compliment.
that.
She should be proud of that. That's wonderful.
She is proud. I'm proud of her as well. But essays can be really difficult. Your task to essay, there's so much that goes into it. We got a really great question about sort of the brainstorming side of things today.
Yes, I'm excited for this. So should I go ahead and ask just read the question, Aubrey?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is from one of our amazing listeners, and they said, I have a question. I find it difficult to decide what type of essay I should write about the following. Immigration has a major impact on society. What are the main reasons of immigration? To what consequences can it lead? The listener is wondering, should they only write a problem essay with no solution? Or what should they do?
Such a good question. Yes. So you can see how essays are worded in a lot of different ways, right? We know that there are these problem solution essays, but often they're worded more like this. The word problem might not be there. The word solution might not be there. But really, if you think about what's being asked, what are the main reasons of this is still asking what are the causes? What is the problem, right?
Yes.
And then to what consequences can it lead? What are the effects, right? So sometimes it'll be a problem solution essay. Sometimes it'll be cause and effect, but those actual words won't always be in the answer.
And this is truly part of preparation. It's preparing how to think about what kind of essay to write, which is a huge skill for the exam. Right?
Exactly. This can save you so much time on test day. If you have already practiced this, you've read a lot of topics and you know immediately what type of essay that you should write.
Hugely important for your time management on writing. Oh my gosh. So, all right, let's dig in. I think our listeners are, again, what else do we want to say here?
Yeah. So we're going to share today 5 recent Task 2 questions and which type of essay you should write, because a lot of them are more like this one the listener sent in, where it's not always immediately evident what's being asked, what type of essay should be written. You do need to this experience reading essays and thinking about what type of essay would I write.
I love that. This is going to be a very useful episode for anyone anywhere on the IELTS journey. But first, hit follow on the show, guys. We publish 2 days a week, and you don't want to miss a single episode of IELTS Energy. Right?
Absolutely. Yes, guys, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure that you hit follow. Sometimes there are bonus episodes as well that you'll miss if you're not following the show.
Yes. All right, let's get into it. So the first example of an ambiguous question where we're not quite sure what kind of essay we should write, what would it be, Aubrey?
All right, I'll read the topic for us. Some feel that the best way to ensure a happy home life for children is for parents to take a parenting course once a year. Others disagree. Discuss both sides and give your own opinion. So what type of essay would this be, Lindsay?
All right. So we believe this should be, or we know this should be, an argument essay, because it sounds like the question is directly saying discuss both sides of the issue.
Exactly, right? You have less options here, right? You can't just write your opinion because the directions explicitly state discuss both sides. So the best organization is to first write about the side you don't agree with and in the first body paragraph, and then the side that you agree with in the second body paragraph.
Okay. Yeah. And what's the reason for that? Why is that the best way to do that, Aubrey? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's the easiest structure where you can share a reason for the side you don't agree with. And then, because you want your opinion to be clear and consistent throughout the essay, you're going to be stating your opinion in the introduction And then again, in the second body paragraph where you are stating the side that you agree with, and then you're restating it again in the conclusion. So this is the easiest way to keep your opinion clear and consistent throughout the essay. You certainly could write about the side you agree with first, but it makes a little less sense because you've just stated your opinion. So then to immediately state it again and defend it is just a little bit of a weaker structure.
I think that makes sense. That makes total sense. But what if in the question it just said, give your opinion?
Yeah,
and
which
it
is
doesn't
very
say
common.
Discuss both sides. Yeah.
This is where you can decide. You can either write an opinion essay where both body paragraphs share reasons for your opinion, reasons for the one side of an argument, or you can still write an argument essay if you choose, where you're writing about one side and then the side you agree with. So if it's, and this is pretty common, there it just says, what is your opinion? Or give reasons for your opinion. That's where you have a little flexibility.
Yes, I love that. Okay, very clear answer. We're ready for number 2. I'm excited. Here is the question. Many people feel that media coverage has become increasingly biased today. Why is this? And what can be done to fix the problem? How would we answer this, Aubrey?
So this is a problem solution essay. You will write about the causes for this problem in the first body paragraph, and then writing about the solutions in the second body paragraph.
Yeah. So when we see keywords, are there keywords we might see, like what can be done to fix something, or like, if, you know what I mean? If we know we're looking
so the
at
keywords are more in that first sentence, right? You're looking for what has to be covered in this topic. So here we have media coverage, increasingly biased. So then, but you have to answer both of these questions. So some topics will give you 2 questions like this. Some will just sort of say like, what are the problems and what are the solutions? Or they'll restate that another way. This is a little bit easier where you can just take both of these questions and answer them each in their own paragraph.
All right. Anything else we need to know about how we would answer this in a problem solution?
Yeah.
essay?
So you've heard this from us before, but this is really key. Don't forget to include your opinion. One of the most common mistakes we see with these types of essays, because it doesn't say, what is your opinion, or share your opinion explicitly in the topic. Don't forget that the instructions for task 2 explicitly ask you to share your opinion, and it is required by the scoring section, the scoring system. In fact, you can't score even higher than a 4 on task response if you have no position at all. That's band 3 or lower for task response.
Band 3? I've never even heard of band 3. That's crazy.
That's really going to pull down your overall score. And this is if no position, if you're just answering the question and providing all these, but you don't have anything that shares your own opinion, then your task response score will be very low.
That's a punishment that would, like you said, bring down the overall average across the 4 score points, right?
Yeah. And this happens less when, if in this actual topic it says, give your own opinion, but don't forget, whether it says that or not, your opinion is required in every task 2 essay.
Exactly. All right, here's number 3. Nowadays, it's easier for young people to have a credit card compared to the past. Do the advantages of this trend outweigh the disadvantages?
Okay, so this is what we call an advantages, disadvantages essay in 3 Keys IELTS. And what's really vital here is that you note the plural. If there's a plural, you're being asked about advantages, plural, and disadvantages, then in order to satisfy the task requirement here, you have to share at least 2. This is more difficult. You can either share 2 that are related and details and examples that support them both, or if you have separate ones, right, they're each going to need supporting details and examples. You can never just have an advantage on its own with no support.
Well, this episode really emphasizes to me how important it is to read the question carefully and know exactly what you're looking for. Do I see a plural, like advantages? That triggers one action that I know I have to do. It's so careful in terms of how we need to read the question.
Absolutely. You must read it. You must really be aware of what you're being asked to write about. You have to understand the question. Read it a couple of times. You should be spending 5 minutes brainstorming, making sure you understand the question, quickly deciding which type of essay you will write, and then making sure you note those plurals. Don't forget your opinion, no matter what. What is my opinion? And be ready to support it.
Nice. Okay, we are back from break, Aubrey. Now we have another one.
Yeah, so we have
do you want to
two
go ahead
more.
and
You want me to read
this
this one?
Yeah.
Here we go. Huge companies like Walmart and Amazon are very popular, but they have put many small local or family-run companies out of business. Why are companies like Amazon so popular? How can we create balance between big companies and small businesses?
It's a great question.
Yeah, it is a really good
societal
question.
question, right? I'm always thinking about this. Yeah. So what kind of essay would this be and why?
Yeah, so if you look at those questions and really think about what they're asking, this is a problem solution essay, right?
Okay.
The problem is sort of laid out here that small family-run businesses are being put out of work. And when it says, why are companies like Amazon so unpopular or so popular, right? It's asking like, what is the root of this problem? What causes this problem? The easiest thing to do here, this is a really key strategy. When you have two questions like this, just take each one and answer it very directly in its own body paragraph. It's going to be the best way to structure it. It's the best way to make sure that you directly address everything in the task.
I love that idea. So you're saying that our answer to why are companies like Amazon so popular would be paragraph 1.
Exactly.
Or paragraph 2 after your intro, I guess.
Yep,
right?
your first body paragraph, correct.
First and second body would be how can we create balance between big companies and small businesses? That
exactly. So you don't even want to spend 2 seconds deciding, all right, what is the actual problem? Just answer that first question in a body paragraph with strong support, examples, and then do the same for the second paragraph in that second question.
When we put it that way, it seems more straightforward than we think, right? It's like sometimes we're reading between the lines and sometimes we're just blatantly answering exactly what they ask, right?
Exactly, right? The only trick is if the question just says like, why is this? Then you have to look back at the topic. Okay, what are that? Why is what? What exactly are they asking about?
Love it. All right, are we ready for the last one of the day?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here's number 5. In numerous nations, there's a growing trend for individuals to frequently discuss financial matters, such as their earnings or expenditures in everyday conversation. What are the reasons behind this phenomenon, and is it advantageous or detrimental?
All right, this is interesting. This is what we call a mixed essay, where you will have a combination of either problems and advantages or reasons behind, like this, causes, and either advantage or disadvantage. So where you're asked, is it advantageous or detrimental? You decide. This is where you're going to share your opinion if you think there are more advantages or more disadvantages. So it's a mix of 2 different types of essays. And again, the best strategy here is to answer each of those questions in its own body paragraph.
A mixed essay, very modern, right? I think
Right.
this was maybe a newer addition to IELTS. I'm not sure exactly when this got added, but
it's been a few years now. Mixed essays are now very common. But yeah, back in the day, that was a little more clear. And then they started mixing it up and giving you, maybe a problem with this advantages or disadvantages, trying to trick people.
Yep. And so incredibly important to add your opinion here. Again, like Aubrey said, band 3 or lower if we don't add our opinion, right?
Exactly. If you look at the scoring system, just to make sure that you're aware and understand how serious this is, band 4 says presents a position but may not always be clear. And then band 3, it's like no position is presented. So you have to give your opinion. You have to make your position clear.
Yes. Oh my God. This has been an incredibly useful episode. It's about honing the eye and getting better at reading, pausing, thinking about what we're building. It's like measure twice, cut once, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And you need to be ready before test day to get that brainstorm done in 5 minutes. You don't want to have to spend any time thinking about how do I structure this? What goes into which paragraph, which type of essay? You need to know all of that as soon as you look at the topic because you've read a lot of them. You've practiced these skills where you're able to know what type of essay to write as soon as you read it.
Yeah, it's so true. And, that initial step of planning is just one of the 3 steps that we teach you in our course, 3 Keys IELTS, where you get a very systematic teaching and plan on how to build the skills in a step-by-step way. The podcast is great, but it's a little random, right? A little random what we're teaching
little bits
you
here and there, right?
Yes,
exactly. In the
bits.
course, we go into each of these types of essays. You see a lot of examples and you learn how to write a band 9 essay for each one.
Yeah. So go to allearsenglish.com/KEYS to get into the course. Aubrey, any final thought or piece
a lot
of advice?
to think about. Maybe listen to this one again, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget to include your position. Make sure that you're ready for all of these different types of essays.
All right. We will be ready for test day. Good stuff today, Aubrey. We'll see you very soon. Thanks for being on.
Awesome. See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.